The day my son emptied my account. My name is Zayn, and I am 63 years old. The morning I realized my son had quietly planned to empty my life savings, the bank smelled of polished floors and cheap coffee. The air conditioner hummed above me. People stood in line, impatient, distracted, alive in their own worlds. And there I was, invisible. Until I saw my own name printed on a withdrawal slip in my daughter-in-law's hand. That was the moment my heart did not break. It hardened. A man who prepared for winter. I have never been a rich man. But I have been a responsible one. For nearly 4 decades, I worked as a civil contractor. I built homes that echoed with laughter that was not mine. I constructed balconies where families drank evening tea I never had time to sit and enjoy. My hands carry scars from cement burns. My back carries the memory of scaffolding. My knees predict rain better than any weather report. And through it all, I saved. Not for comfort. For survival. For the day my body would no longer negotiate with gravity. My late wife Amina used to tease me. Zayn, you save money like the world is ending. I would smile and say, no, I save like I won't always be strong. When she passed away 5 years ago, part of me collapsed quietly beside her grave, but I remained standing for one reason. Hamza. My son, my pride, my only child. The boy who once cried if I came home 10 minutes late. The man who now barely noticed when I entered a room. The suggestion that changed everything. After Hamza married Sana, the house grew busier but colder. Conversations became transactional, meals became shorter, respect became optional. Then one evening, Hamza brought up the bank account. Abba, you should add me as joint holder, it's safer. What if something happens? Sana added gently, hospitals are expensive, it's just practical. Practical. A harmless word that hides dangerous consequences. I hesitated. But I trusted my son more than I trusted my doubts. So I signed. I told myself this is what fathers do. The bank. That day I went to deposit a small consultancy check. Retirement never suited me. A man who builds things struggles to sit still. I took a token and sat down. Then I saw them. Hamza and Sana. At the counter. Whispering. I did not want to listen. But sometimes truth forces itself into your ears. Yes, we'd like to withdraw the remaining balance, Sana said politely. Remaining balance. The teller blinked. Sir, it's a substantial amount. Hamza nodded. Yes, that's fine. Fine. My entire savings. Fine. I stepped forward slightly and saw the number on the screen. Years of discipline. Gone with one signature. And then I heard the sentence that changed something inside me forever. He doesn't use it anyway. He doesn't use it anyway. As if my savings were idle. As if my life's effort was decorative. As if I were already finished. A father's quiet stand. Hamza. My voice surprised even me. They turned. Shock crossed their faces, not guilt, shock. Abba, what are you doing here? He asked. I could ask you the same. Sana forced a smile. Uncle, we were just handling something urgent. Uncle. Not Abba. Uncle. That distance hurt more than the money. I turned to the teller. Please pause this transaction. Hamza's tone sharpened. Abba, don't make this dramatic. Dramatic? Is dignity dramatic? I looked at him calmly. If you had asked, I might have helped, I said, but you chose silence. We were going to tell you, he argued. When, after my account read 0. The teller quietly reversed the process. I requested immediate removal of joint access. Hamza's pride flared. You don't trust me. I answered slowly. I trusted you with my entire life, that should have been enough. The night of truth. At home, tension wrapped itself around the walls. Finally, Hamza burst out, you humiliated us. No, I replied softly. I protected myself. Sana crossed her arms. We take care of you, you live under our roof. Those words were not loud, but they were sharp. Under our roof. I paid for that roof. I paid for his education. I paid for the wedding. But I did not remind them, because I suddenly understood something painful. When sacrifice is constant, it becomes invisible. Leaving. 2 weeks later, I packed a suitcase. Not in anger. In clarity. Abba, you're overreacting, Hamza said. No, I replied, I am reacting for the first time. I rented a modest apartment near the mosque. Small bedroom. One balcony. Enough sunlight to feel alive. The first night alone was heavy. The silence was loud. I stared at Amina's photograph and whispered, did we love him too easily? But slowly, I began to rediscover something I had lost. Myself. Rebuilding more than money. I organized my finances carefully. Separate accounts. Clear investments. Written will. I began mentoring young contractors. They listened when I spoke. They valued my experience. For the first time in years, I did not feel like furniture in someone else's house. I felt like a man again. The call that changed us. 3 months later, my phone rang. Abba. His voice was not confident. The property deal failed. We lost money. I listened quietly. Then he said the words I had waited for. I was wrong. We met at a cafe. He looked tired, older. I thought because you're my father, what's yours is automatically mine. And now, I asked. Now I understand it was yours because you worked for it. Silence sat between us, but this time it was not hostile. It was honest. I'm sorry, Abba. This time the word felt real. Forgiveness with boundaries. I helped him, but not blindly. We wrote terms. We agreed on repayment. Transparency replaced assumption. Respect replaced entitlement. And slowly our relationship transformed. Not into what it was. Into something healthier. What I learned at 63. At 63 years old, I learned that love without boundaries becomes self-destruction. Support without respect becomes exploitation. Silence in the face of wrongdoing becomes permission. Children must be loved, but they must also be taught that love is not ownership. That day in the bank, I did not just protect my savings. I protected my dignity. And dignity is worth more than any balance sheet. Today, when my grandson wraps his tiny hand around my finger, I feel hope again. I pray he grows up understanding something his father had to learn the hard way. Gratitude is not automatic. Respect is not inherited. And parents are not banks. My name is Zayn. I am 63 years old. And the day I said no to my son was the day I finally said yes to myself. Moral of the story. Love your children deeply. Support them when you can. Forgive them when they fall. But never surrender your dignity in the name of love. Because the strongest foundation a father can build is not made of concrete. It is made of self-respect.